So it was March, and spring was definitely struggling to spring, and I sat with motionless bobbins, flicking through Instagram, and I came across at Follow My Carping, a guy who was fishing in the Algarve in Portugal. It looked warm, it looked beautiful, and I thought, why not? So calls were made and texts were sent, and before you knew it, we were loading our gear into the removal lorry to take over to Portugal, ready for an adventure. Now, I've only ever caught carp from England and from France, so I wanted to try and tick off a few more countries from the list, and Portugal seemed to tick all of the boxes. The scenery looked absolutely stunning in the pictures, and to be honest with you, that was more important than the carp themselves, as it was a break at the end of the day. But nothing could have prepared us for the lake itself. It's without a doubt the most beautiful lake that I've fished in 30 years of being a carp angler.
Solo quiero que tú lo sepas. Voy a seguir navegando hasta el fin del firmamento. Voy a seguir navegando hasta el fin del firmamento para poder buscar lo que no encuentro. Para poder buscar lo que no encuentro. Mira cómo suena el mar desde mi balcón.
We planned to fish two venues during the week. Our first venue being the most picturesque, and although we knew the carp weren't going to be massive, the scenery more than made up for it, and Brad, our host for the week, was soon into action and showing us how it's done.
Puedo comparar con el brillo de tu pelo, lo comparo niña con tu pelo negro. Y en sus orillas los pececillos vienen y van, todo tu amor que se fue y marchitó.
Not too long after that, and just after dark, John managed to catch his first Portuguese carp, after losing one only minutes before that. So two of us were off the mark, and it was just left down to me to catch my first Portuguese carp. Unfortunately, I didn't catch any that first night, and I had to wait till the following morning, and the wind had picked up and was blowing down to the far end of the lake. So John and I set off and went to do a little bit of stalking, and soon enough we found some fish in the edge.
Y este mar procede de un volcán, sus aguas cristalinas me empujaron. Y este mar procede de un volcán, sus aguas cristalinas me empujaron. Y este mar procede de un volcán, sus aguas cristalinas me empujaron. Y este mar procede de un volcán, sus aguas cristalinas me empujaron. Y este mar procede de un volcán, sus aguas cristalinas me empujaron.
So with my first Portuguese carp under my belt, we headed back to our swims or base camp, to where Brad had been catching steadily throughout the day. And whilst back there, he showed us a novel way he's invented to bait up his swim. So after he'd done his rods, John decided he'd have a go. And I thought, yeah, lilo looks fun, but I'm going to try and come up with my own method. Anyway, early the next morning, John had another bite that got stuck in the reeds, so after his practice from the day before, he decided he'd take to the lilo to free the snagged fish.
Don't worry, I got it. How'd that work out for you, alright? The answer's no.
But when it rains in Portugal, which it doesn't do a great deal, it doesn't mess about. And this didn't disappoint at all. The rain came and it came heavy. So after one more night of fishing at the beautiful first venue, we decided it was time to pack up and move on to our second lake. So this is our first full day, our second venue of the week. We actually arrived yesterday afternoon. By the time we got the rods out, it was evening time, and we've caught a few already. I think Brad's on 9 at the moment, I'm on 5, John's had a couple as well. John's actually moved swims now down to the other end. So the night time last night was quite productive. We've caught a few during the day as well, caught a few today in the heat, even though it is roasting at the moment. I don't know if you can see on the camera how burnt I am. The biggest we've had is, I think Brad had one that was just under 18 and I had one that was 16 something earlier, but we've seen much bigger fish, so hopefully we'll get in amongst them. Pretty confident that there'll be a fair few more. We've got another 3 nights to go yet before we go home, so it'd be nice to think we've got a chance of catching something really good, and if we do, we will keep you posted. Well, as I said earlier, we've moved on from the first lake, as stunning as it was, because this second lake is supposed to have much bigger fish in it, and I've just proved that. It's not my first bite, but it's certainly a good one. Hang on. Oh, it won't stay calm though. Yeah, hang on. Check my bad self. He's proper. Nice work, little dude. Alright, let's put him home. Well, this is the second morning here on our second venue in Portugal. Last night Brad caught a few more over in all the long grass. I had one more, small one, and John had one more as well. Me and John at the moment, we're fishing each end of the dam wall, which is very rocky, and we're struggling. We're losing quite a lot of gear just trying to present a bait out there, and if you do present a bait out there, there's quite a lot of crays. So we've been catching most of or I've certainly been catching most of my fish on Brazil nuts. The crays leave them alone.
but it definitely seems that you get more bites on boilies, so I've gone back to a snowman today. We'll see how long they stay in the water. I'll have to just recast every couple of hours. The trouble is with recasting every couple of hours is there's a good chance I'm going to lose a lot more gear, because obviously the rocks are quite bad. So we've still not had a big one yet. I think Brad's had 3 20s now, up to 22.5. But there are fish up to 40 pound and bigger in here. So hopefully we've still got 2 more nights, and the days do fish on here as well. I think the first night was a bit of a freak. We caught a lot of fish in the night, even though it's a day water. Last night, that could just be crayfish, no idea. Right, so a bigger one has turned up. Fishing a bit further off the wall, and I went back to boilies, and this one was 28.5, is that right? 28.5. So maybe this is the start of things to come. There we have it. Well chuffed with that. So it's actually better.
That's the side I'll get,
Of course you can. Yeah, go on, we'll have a brace.
Ready? Oh, hang on, let me get that.
This is the
Really
second full day at our second venue, and it is about 400 degrees, and that isn't an exaggeration. It is so hot. I'm burnt, I'm covered in sun stuff. There's no trees to shield us from the sun, and John has moved back and he's now fishing alongside me again, but Brad has moved round to the other side to fish the back of the tower. So John's now casting over to where Brad was fishing before. Wind has changed completely and he's now blowing straight in our face, which you'd think would be amazing, but we haven't actually had a bite since it turned round, so I don't know whether it helps or not yet, but this is the worst time of the day. It's 5 o'clock. My guess is it's probably 28, 29 degrees.
I have no idea, but it's very, very hot.
Something like that. I'm assuming that once it cools down in the next hour or two, hopefully bites will start again. Until then, we're going to eat our hot dog, drink our Guardian Coke out of our olive.
I have olives.
We brought 2 cubic ton of fishing tackle with us and didn't actually bring a glass.
Already olives.
We had olives.
We had olives, but they went in the margins.
So, next time I turn this camera on, it's because there's going to be a fish on the other side of it.
Hopefully. Good morning.
Morning.
We've had a bonus.
It is the 3rd morning of our trip to the second venue in Portugal, and last night John caught 2 and lost a couple. One of them was a double, the last one was a double. Anyway, but yesterday me and John, I found a little gravelly spot of 14 wraps that I quite fancied just in the deeper water, and me and John bombed out, it must have been between 7 and 8 kilo I would imagine, of particle and boilie and all sorts of goodness. And then I cast a little snowman with a diamond white and frutella over the top of it with a little bag of crushed nut, and in the early hours of this morning off it went, and
you're wet.
I am now. Have a look at this.
Oh my god, that is incredible. Happy birthday, sunshine.
Cheers, mate. Gonna go. Good.
I like the way you can't reach the other fin.
Yeah, I can't get my hand around there.
Just a bit of shit on it.
Oh. Thanks for that.
That's quite alright.
I don't even think you need to do it that hard in future.
Yeah, well, I'd do it quickly.
Right, have you got any good shot?
27.5. 27.12. 27.12. And that is just the prettiest fish I've had for a long time. And do you know what? I'm in Portugal. Look at that. I'm in Portugal fishing and I'm not working. Thank you, love. Goodness. Well, just woken up. Little afternoon nap. Look what I got. Very unlike the others. Not a lot of scales. Just tipping the scales at 24, about 24.6 I think it went. It's lovely. Portugal. £42. And she's beautiful and she's heavy. And it's been a hell of a week and this is our last night and I think we might get to Ben's bar and go and have a drink. Because we both have 40s now. Both have 40s on our first trip to Portugal. Thank you very much to our host, Bradley. Go and have a follow of him because he's an awesome guy, he's really nice. Look at the colour, it's almost like a ghosty in the water. I love you. I don't want to let you go. 'Cause you're my baby.
Right, it's the last morning, and I guess if before we came out here we'd been offered the chance to go home with this amount of fish under our belt plus a 40 each, we would have jumped at it. It's been amazing, it's been an adventure just like we planned. We've had no idea what we're doing start to finish. We've now got a flat battery in the van that we've got to try and sort out before we go. But we've caught an awful lot of fish. We're going at a good time, it's got busy here today. So I'm pleased that we're going when we are really. And we've got a couple of crackers to show you before we go. Still got a couple of hours, so we might even get another one for the camera, but if not, this is a pretty good way to finish. And it has been one hell of a week.
It's been emotional.
It's been awesome. I've had such a good time. And hopefully we'll be back. I hope maybe we'll move on to pastures new. Be calm. Oi.
Grunting at me like an absolute good one.
There you have it. Could be the last fish that I catch from Portugal this year, who knows? But
Never know. There's a little bit of time.
it's been a
Absolutely.
truly epic adventure. Enjoyed every second of it. Nearly every second of it.
Nearly every second. See you again soon.
So the rods were laying on the floor, ready to go home. And basically carp spawners picked me up. Last teeny little present before we head off. Now we've just got to figure out a way of getting the van going. And we're on our way. Cheers little fella, I'll come back when you're a 30. See you buddy. Done, let's go.